Hello aspirants, welcome to Shah's IAS Institute. This is a website www.ashah.com. We upload current affairs here on a regular basis. So for the month of August, now looking at current affairs. Our current affairs is uploaded in the form of news, keywords, editorial, question bank, and we provide a PDF for the entire content. A video link, the video on YouTube which is uploaded daily is also provided here, and there are daily MCQ tests, 10 question MCQ tests based on that day's current affairs. These are also uploaded on our website as such. So these are payable. You have to pay for these MCQ tests. We'll discuss all this in detail. The news and the other content is free. First of all, what I would like to do in this video is discuss with you how to read the newspaper. So for beginners, this is very important. So the newspaper which we are referring is the Hindu. The Hindu is the most recommended newspaper for civil services. You may refer to any other standard national newspaper. It does not matter. The content, the news would remain the same, but we would go with what is traditionally followed, the Hindu. Though Indian Express also, there is no harm if you're following Indian Express as well. The content which is important, you should first know what is the syllabus. Based on the syllabus, you will understand what topics to prepare. So here again on the front page, you have the important news. So this is regarding lynching and the statements given by the center. So though it is a little political aspect, but at least you should know about what the government's viewpoint on this. Like here it is saying that it is the state's domain. The states have to take action against cases of mob lynching. It's not in the center's responsibility. So this is a statement coming from the center. So this aspect you should know. Then this is political news. You may skip this. This is again economic news with respect to particular companies which you may skip. You may just go see the headline. It's fine. You know about it. Nitish Kumar, again, this is a political issue. You can just skip it. Okay, 5 more days to file IT returns. This is of significance to one and all. So you will be knowing about it, of course. This is an important issue here, GM mustard. The continuation is there on page 10 for this too. So this is an important news. You should know about it. GM mustard, the entire background of it, which we'll cover when we discuss this news. Though the newspaper does not do it, but we'll provide the complete details. Then this minor transgression by Chinese troops, again it is said that it is a regular affair. So you can just go through it. We have been doing about Chinese aggression here and actually the standoff going on between India and China for quite few days when it was prominently in news. So you can just see the headline too. So important on the front page is nothing of very significant importance except one, a little about mob lynching, and second is GM mustard. This is one important topic, right? Then second page which you will refer to will be local news. Here it is East. So here again you don't need to refer to all these local news and specifically political news. You can just skip it. Page 3 again, political news. This is of North, so you can skip it. Page 4, 5. Again, this again is political news of very much significance again, so you can just skip all this. Then coming to page 6, nation. Yes, the flood situation, we have been discussing it. So you know about the situation, the states where flood situation is grim, and we have already discussed all this. So you should know in this background about National Disaster Management Authority and even NDRF, the National Disaster Management Act, the entire background of it. So when the flood situation news was there prominently in the month of July, we have covered entire aspect of disaster management and all institutions. So such background news is much more important. Of course, you should know about the flood situation in various places, but what needs to be done and what are the institutions in place, you should know about that. Then next, again, drug smuggling. So this, a little brief viewpoint on this also, you should know that how this drug syndicate works. It has been seized presently. So this is also the gist provided in this box. You can go through that. Then NEET has been in news, and Madras High Court has given its viewpoint on NEET. It has passed its order. Tamil Nadu government is very much keen on being exempted from NEET and the various tactics it is using. So we have been discussing about that too. It has come in news twice or thrice, and now again the next news item coming in after they went on appeal and they have lost in the appeal too, and again tactics being used. So you should know a little about this, that what is NEET and why Tamil Nadu government wants it exempted, because they have banned competitive exams, online competitive exams for entrance in various institutions that has been banned in Tamil Nadu. So they want to be exempted from NEET 2, which is at national level and which has been put into effect by Supreme Court Order 2. Though it was a central government initiative, the Supreme Court had earlier in its ruling banned NEET and later it revised its ruling and said NEET should be enforced. So now NEET has been enforced and we see Tamil Nadu trying to resist it. Then this is the editorial page, an important page. The two editorials are these. One we have here about Russia's expulsion of US mission as such. So the US bill which has been passed presently with huge majority, as it is said that it has tried the hands of Trump and he cannot take action or make friendship with Russia now as was expected. So this is regarding that. Then this washed out, this is regarding the flood situation. So the two editorials will give you the entire complete perspective view on the particular issue. So the two editorials are very important. The article here is known as the lead article. So this is regarding Reserve Bank is off target, which is regarding inflation targeting, which we have discussed quite often in news even yesterday. So you may get few more points regarding an answer on this issue. So this you can go through. Today, the lead articles and other articles are important. They may not always be important. On some days, there may be no other article important. So you can just go through the editorials and end it. Even sometimes there are multiple articles on the same issue. So if you have got enough content from few articles initially, one or two articles too, you can just stop going through them again and again. So of course, we'll help you with that too. We provide a question bank based on these articles. So wherever an important article is there, with that link, we provide you the content in a gist format, a question being framed for which you will get the content for the answer from the content provided. So that is done because this is important for means. Then next here is don't shoot the messenger. So this is regarding Whistleblowers Act and the amendments to it and how they are self-defeating. So this is important. Then this op-ed page here has again articles. This is regarding delimitation law. So again, this is important. This is regarding India-Philippines relation and the assistance financial aid which we are providing. So of course, this is also important. Bilateral relations questions may be asked, and Philippines has been prominently in news because of IAS attacks here too, and homegrown militants also here taking over region here, Maravi region, as it has been in news quite often. Then again comes the news page here. Again, this is political. It's not important. A particular person who would be voted to Rajya Sabha. This is not important. Again, political. So political news is not important. This GM mustard is continuation from page 1. So you'll be of course going through this. Drupad Mastro dies. So again, Drupad you should know about. Of course, this news they have stopped asking questions. UPSC no longer asks questions on particular personalities and deaths as such, which you can skip for now, but at least Drupad, it's very important. It's part of Hindustani classical music, and culture is a very important part for both prelims and mains. So you should know about everything about Drupad as such. So that's way how you study the newspaper and you enhance all subjects. Means when you do current affairs, it does not mean anything related to news will be asked and you'll be able to solve it. But anything which has been in news, and questions generally from static part also come from what has been in news. So if you know what has been in news and you do that part, like that part of culture, then you will be able to solve questions and you are properly targeting what to prepare and where to put emphasis on, right? Then next is again political. This is LPG prices to be hiked. So this is a governance development here. So a policy decision taken. So you should know about this. Then this is again regarding a bill, OBC bill, which has been in news earlier too. So this is important. Another bill which is making eviction of parliamentarians easy. So once they are not eligible to stay in the houses provided to them. So this bill again is being proposed. So you should know about bills proposed in the parliament. Then this is regarding Apple's demand. So this is economy related policy which has been made by the government. So you should go through this also. This has been in news earlier too. Then international page, again international news is not of very much significance. Questions will not be asked on particular nations' political developments as such, but anything where India has some relation and it is affecting India, then it becomes important. So again here Pakistan related news we have just done. Okay, about Nawaz Sharif, the Panama Papers details, we have covered that in news. So that we have already done in the last days of July. So this is not important now. Further developments in Pakistan. Then again, Islamic State attacks, of course, the attacks are taking place, but we don't need to keep a note of every attack taking place as such. So this is fine. So here again, it's not important to follow regularly the news. Something prominent in news again regarding US-Russia case we have done once. What is it all about? Then you don't need to keep following the news every time something new, some viewpoint is coming forth. We don't need to follow it. You know about it, that's fine. Right? The bill being passed is what I'm speaking of. Then next is login glitch, IT returns date extended. So this you can go through that. What are the issues? So you should know about them. So economy related. Core sector growth slows to 0.4% in June. So this is important because 8 core sectors, there have been questions in prelims asked repetitively from this region. Even static part, you don't need to, because this news comes every month. Every month on the 1st or 2nd of every month, this news is always there. That core sector growth and other economic indicators, they are provided. Monthly releases by the government are done. So you should know about at least the static part. That which are these 8 core sectors? What is their weightage? So such questions in prelims also can be asked. So that is why it's very important. Then this is company-based economy, it's business news. So you can just skip this. Then this is the news, methanol, a clean, cheaper fuel. So this is the road transport minister proposing that methanol can be used in the country as well. So again, here you should know about what is methanol, how is it derived, and how can it be used as a fuel, what are its pros and cons, and how is it different from ethanol and other biofuels too. So this, of course, you should know about. This is how you prepare. That everything you'll not get from the content here. You will have to do your background work. And of course, we are providing that background work done for you. So it does take a time. So preparing the news, preparing the newspaper first, preparing the background. We give you images as well when the news discussion takes place, so that there is a retention of information as well for the students, and it's easier to grasp things. So all that work is done, and only then the video is prepared and uploaded. We also provide a Hindi video. So both English and Hindi videos are provided daily. This is a free initiative of Shah's IAS Institute. We are not going to charge for the entire prelims preparation, mains preparation. We don't have any intention to make it chargeable. Yes, the MCQ aspect is chargeable. That is 5,000 rupees per year. So that is one aspect. Also, there is one more page on this is again the page here. Again, it is business news. So there is nothing of significance here. The one more page which is there after sports. Sports you can skip because there is nothing important in sports. UPSC does not ask questions on sports now. Then life page, the last page of the Hindu. Here you may have some SNT related news sometimes of significance. Like today there is this news, chemical from turmeric treats cancer in children. So this is regarding curcumin, which is a chemical on which US scientists have found that how it can be used to kill cancer cells in young children. So this is of significance. So this is one more news item, the last one for today. So that is it. Now we look at the current affairs here in August. So here the keywords, we upload all the important terminologies which come in the newspaper. So like all of them, GAC, this we'll discuss in news today. So you will see all these news items contain these important terminologies which are much more important. So this is the background news information which is required whenever you're covering news. So this is covered up as keywords, and these keywords will be uploaded daily as well along with current affairs. Plus we'll do a compilation too. We are also trying to have a compilation done topic wise. So all important keywords from culture, from polity, from social schemes will give you a good collection which you can revise at the last moment too, rather than going through entire current affairs. And current affairs also, there's so much of repetition with current affairs that if you are regularly following current affairs, the news items will be repetitive, and that is what serves as revision. So you don't need to worry about end of the year revision, end of the month revision so much if you are doing it regularly. There will be a lot of it which will be retained and lot of it which will be repeated. So important news items will be coming in news often, and you will be able to retain it. So that is why daily current affairs is very important. So now we come to, yes, one more thing is daily MCQs. So here the daily MCQs, a sample is also provided of the 10 MCQs which we upload. So the details are provided here, you can see. So generally what we see is students are not ever prepared for attempting a test. So I experience with coaching students too here, we see that students say that they are not prepared. That is the reason why they don't give a test. So the idea here is that we give a small test, we give daily tests, and we give a test based on a specific content. So there is no excuse. There is no excuse which you can make, because you have to do one day's current affairs and there will be 10 MCQ questions uploaded on that particular day's current affairs. So if you are prepared with the current affairs as such, you will be able to attempt almost all the questions. So this preparation and plus attempting test is very important, because then you are testing yourself that how well you have prepared. How well can you attempt questions? Are you doing any silly mistakes? And you learn from your mistakes and you improvise. And it gives you a lot of confidence as well that yes, you are studying well, you can attempt questions and score as well. So that is very important. So these are online MCQs. We'll give you a login ID and password once you enroll for it, so that you can start attempting these tests too. So this is the list of questions here. For 29 July, a sample 10 questions which were uploaded for 29 July are listed down here. So you can go through them as well. So that is for the coverage which is done. Now coming to current affairs for 1st August. So here it is. So news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper for 1st August are these 13. We'll look at them in detail. The first one is, it's for states to end lynchings, center. So this is regarding again pressure on the central government because of lynching, mob lynching and deaths which have occurred in recent times. So here the government is saying that it's the responsibility of the state governments to take action on this. But what the opposition is emphasizing on is that these are right-wing Hindutva outfits who associate themselves with BJP, who are involved in these incidents, though the Prime Minister has criticized them, but there is no action as such on the floor. They are not restrained. So this is what the opposition is demanding as such. In that same context, BJP MP also quoted socialist leader Ram Manohar Lohia, saying that he had stated that Indian Muslims were former Hindus, which is a fact. So they should keep this in mind and respect Hindu customs too. So Hindu custom does not allow cow slaughter. So this is one aspect which the government wants to put across. So we have seen the prevention of cruelty to animals rules which were also brought out in 2017, which put restrictions on slaughter. So this is regarding that. And in this context, when Mr. Ram Manohar Lohia is mentioned, he was a socialist leader during the freedom struggle. So we can discuss about him too. So here we'll see that. So this is regarding Mr. Ram Manohar Lohia, a prominent freedom fighter. So this is regarding Mr. Ram Manohar Lohia, a prominent freedom fighter. His father, Mr. Hiralal, was also a freedom fighter. He had joined Congress Socialist Party, Ram Manohar Lohia, in 1934 when it was founded. So he was a prominent socialist leader. He had been put behind bars quite often. He had participated in the Quit India movement as such too. He was working with Congress Radio, which was broadcasting secretly during Quit India movement in 1942 in Bombay. Plus, he had also founded this Association of European Indians in Berlin when he was studying at Berlin University in Germany. Plus, he has also founded this organization for farmers, Hind Kisan Panchayat, find agricultural solutions for farmers. Also, he was a prominent proponent of Hindi language. So this is also one aspect, that he endorsed Hindi as the official language for India. The next is, Supreme Court warns of challenges to GM mustard rollout. So we already know about GM mustard. We'll look at it once more too. So it is DMH11, which is a GM genetically modified mustard, which has been developed by Dr. Deepak Pental of Delhi University. It was a government funded project. Plus, this has already been given approval by GAC, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee. The government's final viewpoint is pending. So, government policy on GM mustard, whether it would allow it or not, because this will be the first time that a food, edible crop will be genetically modified, because only one GM crop is allowed in India, and that is BT cotton. And this mustard is not, cotton is not a food crop, but mustard is. So that's why there are serious concerns here. The government says they'll come out with this policy by September 2017, and there's already a case going on in Supreme Court. And presently the news is that Supreme Court has given a warning to the government that if you decide to approve GM mustard, then there are health hazards concerns which are raised by petitioners. So we are going to look into it. Means whatever be your decision, it has to survive judicial scrutiny. So this is a warning from the Supreme Court to the government that if whatever you're deciding, you should have backing, reasoning behind it, facts behind it, that why you have approved or disapproved it. Majorly it's regarding approval. So this is there. Then next here you can see the details regarding GM mustard. Why GM mustard has been developed is shown here, you can see. So this is the fact that it is imported in huge quantity every year in the country. So our domestic production is not sufficient to fulfill the requirements. So there is a need to increase the yield, right? So GM crops are generally known to increase the yield. But there are controversy with respect to TMH11 on this aspect too. We'll see what is that. Then cost of import is huge, right? So yield from hybrid variety will be 20 to 30% more. So the thing is that with GM mustard, this crop is herbicide tolerant. So that is why it has raised concerns. So we can see this is the details which we just discussed. So regarding GM mustard. So here you can see there is opposition to it too. So herbicide tolerance which is there in this GM mustard crop is that it has these traits because it's genetically modified. So these specific traits can be brought into it. Means when a herbicide is sprayed on the field, then GM crop will not be affected by this herbicide. It will survive. It will be tolerant to this herbicide, but weeds which also grow with GM crop in the country and which results in the yield of GM crop going low, these weeds will be eliminated. So that is why the yield would automatically increase. So it's because of herbicide tolerance that since weeds are eliminated, yield would be more. But then there is a risk involved here because with herbicide tolerant GM crops, what has been seen is that when pollination takes place, so of course this is the result which is expected, but then there is a potential threat that super weeds can develop because there is herbicide tolerance in these GM crops. So when cross pollination takes place and when these pollens from here they generate weeds and these super weeds are developed because of this cross pollination, then they would also be herbicide tolerant. So then there are serious concerns here. That is why we had seen a subcommittee of GAC. We had discussed this also in news in July, that this subcommittee had warned that particular herbicides should not be sprayed in GM crops once it is approved, because if that is done, then this risk also is very high. So that is why there will be clear regulation also required regarding use of this GM mustard. Then the next news item is drug smuggling route reveals itself again. So this is a huge smuggling racket of drugs which are sourced from Afghanistan, Pakistan and traded across the Indian Ocean to Southeast Asian nations. The masterminds behind this are said to be in Singapore and Dubai, and this is a huge racket. And here presently heroin, 1,500 kg of heroin worth 3,500 crore was seized off the Gujarat coast presently. So this is the news regarding this drug racket. It is stated that it does not affect India. The drugs did not reach India. This is the statement given by the government, but this is a huge concern. Then next is Supreme Court bans 5 toxic chemicals from crackers. So now the Supreme Court has taken it on itself and it has banned the use of 5 chemicals from firecrackers. So firecrackers cannot use these chemicals, and these are the chemicals, it says, which have been labeled as toxic by Central Pollution Control Board itself. So they will be banned in whatever form. They cannot be used. So these 5 chemicals are antimony, lithium, mercury, arsenic and lead. So these are the 5 chemicals. Also, it has stated that it is the responsibility of Petroleum and Explosive Safety Organization to ensure compliance with this order, particularly in Shivakasi in Tamil Nadu, which is the hub of firecrackers manufacturing in India. We have already discussed this yesterday. This news was there yesterday as well on 31st July. So we have already discussed what is Peso and Shivakasi as the hub. So this is there. So also the government has put a ban. The Supreme Court has put a ban on private manufacturers from selling firecrackers selling firecrackers in Delhi and NCR region because of the huge air pollution concern in this region. So the firecrackers manufacturers are asking for lifting of this ban, but this ban prevails. Also, another point which is put forth by manufacturers of firecrackers is that there should be specification about the percentage of chemicals which can be used, rather than the conduct of random checks which is done by the authorities and then clamp down on manufacturers is undertaken. So this Supreme Court order will also brings clarity that once the rules are clear, then random checks and compilation or compliance also becomes easy. So this is being put forth. Then also earlier we had seen this yesterday also, that Central Pollution Control Board has also called sulfur as a major cause of pollution, and it is used in large amount in firecrackers. So this aspect has not been spoken of, but these are the details here. And the Supreme Court is hearing this case based on the writ petition filed by MC Mehta, who had spoken about air pollution in the country and had filed this case in 1985. So this is a prominent case as such, which is looking into pollution in the country as such. So here you can see the details as such are provided of various chemicals, toxic elements used in firecrackers, the purpose for their use, and what are their toxic effects. So this you can go through. Then the next news item is Madras High Court dismisses appeal against NEET. So this is again an old news. We have already discussed this. Tamil Nadu government has been restricting coming under NEET because Tamil Nadu has banned competitive exams, entrance exams for educational institutions. So these competitive exams here are banned for entrance exams as such. So that is why when NEET, which is National Entrance Cum Eligibility Test for MBBS BDS courses, graduate and postgraduate courses in medicine. So this is at national level. So NEET exam has already been conducted. There are other controversies going on with respect to NEET 2 regarding, malpractices in the examination process, the online exam process. But apart from that, Tamil Nadu does not want to come under NEET, and that is why it came up with a specific rule that 85% of seats for admissions in MBBS BDS courses in the state would be reserved for state board students. So this rule as such was challenged, and Madras High Court ordered that this does not stand, and it had dismissed this, it had cancelled this order. Plus, the Tamil Nadu government, when it went in appeal to a larger bench, again the Madras High Court, the larger bench has also dismissed this appeal. The two-judge bench has also dismissed. Single judge had also dismissed. So this is there, and it has stated, the Madras High Court presently has stated that the government should take necessary steps to complete the admission process before the August 31 deadline. So this is the order coming forth, that without this reservation you should complete admission process. But now the Tamil Nadu government is seeking exemption from center in NEET based admissions for this year because there is a deadline and we have to complete admission by August 31. So it again is giving an excuse that it should not come under NEET for this year. So this is there. Here the details are also provided as such, you can see. So Tamil Nadu's tryst with NEET, as it is called. So then the next news item is Drupad Master Ustad Saiduddin Dagar dies at 78. So this was a Dagar family Ustad, and Drupad is a form of Hindustani classical music which you should know of. Because in UPSC presently they are not asking personalities, so personalities as such may not, again you don't need to by heart these names, but at least you should know about the background. Drupad, what is it? And also Natya Shastra, which specifically mentions about Drupad also. Drupad is actually a Sanskrit term which comes from Dhruva and Pad, means immovable verse. So it actually means a pillar. So this is a form of Hindustani classical music. Here you can see the details as such are also provided. We'll go through that. So here you can see the Hindustani music, the vocal and instrumental part, the classical music forms are shown here like Drupad, Khayal, Tarana. So these are there. The light classical forms are also mentioned here like Thumri, Ghazal, etc. Bhajan, Ghazal. So these are there. These are the 6 different types of Hindustani music. Drupad, as you can see, it's mentioned here. So this is a style of singing which is performed with a tambura and pankhavaj, the musical instruments. Khayal is based on vocal improvising and expressing emotions. Tarana, fast-paced songs. Tappa, based on fast, subtle, naughty constructions as such. So this is there. Thumri is again in Proto-Hindi language, generally romantic, and ghazal is a Persian form of poetry. So these are part of Hindustani classical music. And this is regarding Natya Shastra, prominent text, Natya Shastra. So this is written by Bharata, the Bharat Muni sage, ancient sage, and this is written in a way that God Brahma himself had taught Bharat Muni how Natya Shastra should be. So what is Natya Shastra as such? So this is written in that way, recording the teachings as such. So this book as such is having mythical significance also. So this is there. So here you can see it's the world's largest and most comprehensive theatre and dance manual, which still forms the foundation of classical forms of theatre, dance, music in the country. So this is Natya Shastra, which you should of course know about. Then this is regarding Dhrupad, which we just discussed, the Sanskrit name mentioned in Natya Shastra. It's usually related to philosophical or bhakti form of music as such. So this is there. Though there are some Dhrupads which have been composed to praise kings as well. Then next is subsidized LPG price to be hiked by ₹4 per cylinder every month. So this is the government's order now coming forth, that it has allowed public sector oil marketing companies to increase the price of subsidized LPG by ₹4 per cylinder per month. So every month this price would be increased, so that finally the government aims to eliminate all subsidies by March 2018. So this will go on till March 2018, the hike in the prices as such. So this is there. Also presently the subsidy which is provided by the government to households is that it gives 12 cylinders of 14.2 kg each every year at subsidized rates. And the subsidized rates are shown here, we can see. So here you see that it is, the price is here shown, you can see. So it is market price is ₹608, subsidized price is 419. So subsidy per cylinder is around 188 rupees. So this gradually will be eliminated is what the government is aiming for. The LPG subsidy bill for the government has gone drastically down, you can see, in the last few years, from 2013-14 to finally it's coming 15-16, it was only 8,816 crores. Also the Give It Up campaign by the government had also shown results, and many customers gave up subsidy also. Many new customers were added as well. So these are the details here. Then next is government red-faced as elders amend OBC bill, sends it back to Lok Sabha. So this is regarding 123rd constitutional amendment bill, which seeks to rename the National Commission for Backward Classes as National Commission for Socially and Educationally Backward Classes, and also give it a constitutional status same as National Commission for Tribals as such, National SC and ST Commission. So these are constitutional bodies. Now OBC will also become a constitutional body. So this is that. It will be called socially and educationally backward classes. So this bill had been passed by Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha passed it with amendments, even changing the name of the commission as such too. So now it has been returned to the Lok Sabha, and if the Lok Sabha accepts the amendments, then it will be passed. Otherwise, it will be sent back to Rajya Sabha. So this is a constitutional amendment bill here. One more change which the opposition wanted was that there should be inclusion of a woman in the proposed commission, but that has been rejected by the government here. So here the details regarding the 3 types of bills are also provided. So actually this president recommendation is compulsory here. So money bill, president's recommendation is compulsory. This should be shifted here. So this is there. Money bill requires prior recommendation of the president. Ordinary bill does not require. Even constitutional amendment bill does not require. Introduction, ordinary bill can be introduced in either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Money bill can be introduced in Lok Sabha only. Constitutional amendment bill again can be introduced in either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. In case of deadlock, there can be a joint sitting only in case of ordinary and money bill, not in case of constitutional amendment bill. Also, you should know that money bill, who decides whether a bill is a money bill or not? It is the speaker. In other bills, there is no such certification necessary. So these are the details. Money bill, the Lok Sabha has prominent power, means it has, the Rajya Sabha has 14 days. In 14 days, it can decide on the bill whether it passes or not. Lok Sabha, once it has passed, the money bill stands fast. But in case of ordinary bill and constitutional amendment bill, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have equal powers. So in case of ordinary bill, if 6 months lapse and the action is not taken by another house of the parliament, then there can be a joint sitting. So this is there. And in constitutional amendment bill, both houses have to independently pass the bill. Until and unless that is not done, the constitutional amendment bill cannot be passed. So this is there. Then next is bills in Lok Sabha to make eviction from government homes smooth, time bound. So this is regarding public premises eviction of unauthorized occupants amendment bill of 2017. So this is a bill which is making eviction of overstaying MPs, dignitaries and bureaucrats from the official premises smooth, speedy and time bound, because many a times they approach the courts and then there are stays coming forth. So now there will be no such delay allowed, entertained as such, because within, you can see, within 3 days of the overstay, the power is provided to the estate officials that they can have summary evictions initiated. So this is there. And also another provision in the bill is that it will have, the legislation says that the occupants as such will have to pay damages for every month they hold the accommodation beyond what is stipulated. So this damages would also be coming forth. So these are the new provisions to ensure, because it is seen that if they go on to stay for years into their occupational houses, even after the expiry of their term. So this is a bill proposed as such. Then next is rejected duty rebate demands for iPhone manufacturing, says government. So government says that we have rejected the demands which were made by iPhone, but then there was this 30% local sourcing of components demand by iPhone manufacturer Apple, which the government has provided, because for state of the art and cutting edge technology this exemption is provided, but the minister has clarified that this exemption is there only for 3 years. After that it has to open its, allow this cutting edge technology also to be sourced in the country only. So this is there. Then another demand for rebate in custom duties on import of equipments as such, it says this is already there. But what is the exceptions are there means it cannot be there. This rebate on custom duty cannot be there for charger, battery and speaker, while iPhone wanted rebate on all. So the government has not provided this. This is therefore open for all. So this will also be there, provided to Apple. And also it says that now basic custom duty still is exempted from GST, but other duties are there included under GST. So all imports will have integrated GST imposed on them. So under integrated GST, if there are any exemptions to be made, then that has to be decided by the GST Council for all. Integrated central GST, state GST. It's the GST Council which decides. And you should already know about GST Council. If you don't, then we have discussed GST in detail on 1st of June. You can go through that. So this is there. Also, it says that under GST, it's a 12% GST which has been imposed on cellular mobile phones as well as imported, domestically manufactured and imported mobile phones. So this is there. And also it says that import duty exemptions are there, but for manufacture, but for repair, there is no such exemption. So iPhone wanted that also, Apple wanted that also, which the government has not provided. So of course, Apple is interested because India is a huge market and it was seeking exemptions, but government says that we have resisted providing these exemptions to Apple. So here the details regarding its demands are also mentioned. The next is login glitch, IT returns date extended. So we already saw on the front page that was this news that it has been extended from 31st July to 5th August now, because PAN Aadhaar linkage is also creating difficulties, specifically because people have different ways in which names are mentioned in PAN card and Aadhaar. And that's why linkage is resulting in trouble, and government has made it mandatory that PAN Aadhaar linkage should be there, and filing of IT returns can be done, it has stated, but it will not be processed until this linkage is done. So this is mandatory now. We have already seen the whole case which went on in the Supreme Court on PAN Aadhaar linkage also. So finally this is there. Plus also the people here are saying that taxpayers are facing trouble because some exemptions have been provided by the government on PAN Aadhaar linkage. The government has given a notification in May that PAN Aadhaar linkage is not necessary for certain categories of people like NRIs, senior citizens, foreigners, and also citizens of northeastern states, because there the Aadhaar enrollment rates are only quite low. So the people are saying that the experience as such on the online portals is that they are not able to give these exemptions. Means the software, their websites have not been updated that PAN Aadhaar mandatory requirement should not be sought from these categories. So still they also have to provide Aadhaar, otherwise without linking it's not going ahead. So this is a concern. Also government has said that taxpayers who earn income of rupees 5 lakh and more should compulsorily file tax returns online. So this is also resulting in last minute haste, and that is resulting in servers going down. So this is there. And also post demonetization, all those individuals who have deposited cash into their bank accounts are required to report regarding them in their tax returns. So number of such tax filers as such have also increased in the country. So that's why we are seeing these glitches in the functioning of the income tax website. Then next is core sectors growth falls to 0.4% in June. So this is regarding the 8 core sectors which are there in Index of Industrial Production. So here you can see these are the 8 core sectors. You should know them because twice already UPSC has asked questions in last 5 years regarding 8 core sectors. So this is a very important section. So this even changes were made to this. The weightage has increased now. So 8 core sectors now comprise of 40.27% of the weight of items included in IIP. So this is there. Here these are the 8 core sectors. The maximum weightage is for electricity, and you can see every month these details come out. So you don't need to remember which sector went high or low because every month it will change. But overall you can see the 8 core sectors year-on-year growth for June is 0.4%. Again, this is significant because it has gone quite low from 3.6% last month to 0.4%. So the growth as such in core sector is also low. So this is showing the slowdown as such. Then next is methanol, a clean, cheaper fuel. So the Road Transport and Highways Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, has endorsed methanol. That government should come up with a strategy. The think tank Niti Aayog has been given this task to study the automobile standards developed in China, which is using methanol as an alternative fuel. So we already use ethanol. Now methanol is also been endorsed because it says that methanol economy can make use of the vast reserves of coal which we have in the country, from which methanol can be generated and import substitution can be achieved. So this is there. Also research is going on converting carbon dioxide to methanol. So this, if it's developed in the country, then it will be a game changer, and our fuel dependence, which is quite high, it's a huge part of our import bill, can be drastically brought down. So this is called as a promising fuel. Even Niti Aayog has given in its presentation that methanol is a promising fuel for waterways, as it's clean, cheaper than fossil fuels. So it's a good substitute for heavy fuels, has been its viewpoint. Also, methanol can be produced from municipal waste. So this is also one benefit. Also, a pilot project is also going on development of methanol as such, which is there in Talcher in Odisha. So this is there. Presently, we are importing methanol from Saudi Arabia and Iran. So we should develop our own roadmap of how we can convert coal in India into methanol and use it as a fuel. This is there regarding methanol. But then there are problems with methanol because there are some carcinogenic components when methanol is inhaled. But then when emissions will be controlled, then there will be not much concerns. But otherwise there can be concerns while ethanol is consumed. So there are no such concerns with ethanol. So here you can see the advantages and disadvantages of the two are given. So of course, renewable sources, they burn cleaner, they reduce emissions, they are good alternative fuel as such, reduce carbon dioxide emissions too. But then the disadvantage with methanol is that combustion causes possible carcinogens. So that is there. Presently it is expensive, a new technology. It contributes to global warming to some extent though. And also formaldehyde emissions, if they are high, then it will become toxic and carcinogenic too. So this is there. And here the disadvantages with ethanol is that production takes more energy than the fuel will generate, because ethanol is sourced from even food crops. So here the production, there is huge amount of investment done in production, and then the food crop is used to generate ethanol. So that production takes up more energy is a concern. Low heat of combustion with ethanol is also there, and a lot of land is required to produce ethanol. Then next is turmeric. Turmeric can be used to fight cancer in children, find US scientists. So US scientists have now found this component, the bioactive component in turmeric, curcumin, to be beneficial for treating cancer. It can kill cancer cells in young children. So children younger than 5 years old too, curcumin can be used to target and destroy neuroblastoma tumor cells, which are most common cancer in young children. So this is a role of curcumin in the form of nanoparticles. So nanoparticles of curcumin have this benefit has already been proven in India also by JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University researchers, the scientists here, in case of tuberculosis. So this has already been shown that nanoparticles, this increases the bioavailability of curcumin and the therapeutic ability of the molecule as such increases. So this has been shown by US researchers now too. So it can treat cancer. So this is curcumin. So turmeric, it's known, it's used in Ayurveda, and that it is known it has various benefits, and now this treatment of cancer is also possible through curcumin, through turmeric, has been proven by US researchers. So this is that. So these are the news items. Thank you.